Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to another high level best of 3 between two fantastic players. Today, in the top right, spawning as our yellow Protoss player, playing for Team Alpha X. It's going to be Classic. And in the bottom left, as the blue Zerg player, playing for Team Ents Esports. It's none other than Serral. Mr. Serral over here in a ZVP against Classic. Now, Classic, ever since his return, hasn't been able to wow me as much as he did before he left for the military. He's turned into a slightly more passive player who... Classic, in my mind, was the perfect abuser. You know, you'd look at Classic and what he was doing, and this is the type of stuff that Zerg players would write an essay about on the Battle.net forums, you know? That is who Classic was before he left. Like, he proxied gateways in stupid locations, he had a lot of sick glaive, immortal all-ins, all usually proxied as well. He was the one that did the first real Blink DT build at a high level against Rogue in, what was it, BlizzCon 2018? BlizzCon 2019 on World of Sleepers. Like, this guy, he had it all, you know? He was crazy, but now he's come back and he's grown older. He's a little bit more passive. He still has his weird build orders every now and again, but they don't seem to hit as hard. He kind of lost the crazy factor in the military, it feels like. He used to be this kind of crazy dude, and he isn't that anymore. Now, he is a guy that's going to find the first Ling here. Serral will not get the scout with the Ling. He's sending out the Overlord towards the far right side of the map right now, though. So that is going to be nice. Same time, we'll have to wait and see exactly what Classic's plans are going to end up being here. Void Ray first. This is not super revolutionary. This is not something that surprises me. Despite him not having very crazy build, he still likes to hide his intentions. He is not a player that likes to show his cards. No, he's a player that likes to bluff. He's a player that likes to pretend to be strong in certain points and actually be weak, and pretend to be weak when he's very strong. He is the perfect student of the art of war. Sun Tzu himself would be proud of Classic. The first Void Ray is popping out here. Should be capable of denying at least a little bit of information on this one Overlord. This Overlord probably will go unspotted for now. It would surprise me if Classic sends his Void Ray over there, but then again, I also wouldn't really mind it. The Pylon and the Nexus do get built here of double adapts. This is considered somewhat risky, because a 12, the 14 Ling Flood can force a cancel on this Nexus, especially if you don't leave the Void Ray at home initially. And luckily for Classic, that's not quite what Serral was doing. Serral is going to try to move across the map with a couple of these Lings. Will lose one, and the rest will decide to also go home after a disappointing start. Pneumatized Carapace is being researched, so Serral still believes that Classic might do something silly, might do something very aggressive. Could of course be some type of Glaive Adept attack. Could be practically anything. So just wants to know what's going on right now. 3 queens are in position. We'll start focusing down this Oracle. 4th queen pops out as well. Classic in a lot of trouble. Almost ends up losing that Oracle, but not quite. 7 HP remaining. As the Forge and Twilight do finish up, we have 2 more gates coming down. I can only imagine. And then this should start going into... well, into what? I guess a Templar Archives? Yeah, Templar Archives. Maybe a little bit of a Zealot Warp in over here on the 3rd base. I would not mind a Zealot Warp in here. I really would not mind a Zealot Warp in. Serral scouts with the Pneumatized Carapace, sees everything that's going on currently. He's going to be quite happy with that as well. We have an Adept being warped in and a single Zealot. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. I'd love to see an Immortal or an Observer at this point. I think it's going to be an Immortal. I think this is a very powerful build. A second battery? What is he afraid of? Who hurt you, Classic? Why are you building a second battery? Who's caused you all this pain? God, Serral. 3 roaches? Really? Over drones right now? Are we that afraid? We just got a full scout. We know what's going on. Don't think we need those roaches yet. 5 more. This is going to be Swarm Host? This is going to be Swarm Host. It can only be Swarm Host. No 4th base. Or at least late 4th base. Why is he building so many units of 67 workers? He's got the full scout, no? Saw the Templar go down, Templar Archives go down. This is Okay, yeah. Now this is Swarm Host. It's the only thing that makes any sense whatsoever at this point. Because you can't just start building units on 66 workers. That's another thing. Unless, of course, you're playing Swarm Host. Which is why I said it's going to be Swarm Host. This is fairly transparent, though, I do have to say. There will be a double Archon drop heading towards the main base. We have a... Wait, what? It's going to be a Roach drop to the main? I understand now, by the way, why Classic started the second batteries. Because he saw Overlord speed and he was afraid of a Queen drop Roach attack. Yeah, actually understandable. I do understand that. I empathize with it as well. It was really painful when you lose to that type of crap. Now these Archons see this many Roaches. You know something is weird going. Something weird is going on here. I'd probably want to throw down a Robobay at this point already. Start Blink. Just like kind of these reflexes should be in there, I feel like. Oh, Archon drops taking a little bit of damage. Oh, a little bit. He's taking a lot of damage right now. Serral does not quite get the final hit, but that was close. Close to comfort. Very, very close to comfort. No vision on this push out whatsoever. Oracle is aware of the lack of gas. Would love for him to figure out that there's not a single worker here as well. Because I don't think we can be moving out right now. It looks like Classic is gearing up for an attack. But this is not a time to attack. Right now is a time of introspection and staying at home and trying not to die. That's what time this is. Screens are going to get taken out, or at least almost get taken out. Would have been very important. Would have been very big. Makes this push a lot weaker. Single creep tumor will get dropped. I love this little, the Serral Overlord drop. Look at that, spreading creep. Starts pooping the creep out of the Overlord. His queen is lost, trying to get a creep tumor down. Swarm Host moving in right now. This is the good start of an engagement here for Classic, isn't it? It's going to take out a lot of these Roaches. Will probably... should have gone for that. Should have gone for that Overlord. That would have been huge. Because in that case, the Void Ray and the Oracles that you have are big. Nexus actually went down. I didn't realize that. I'm not sure if Classic realized it. Of course, still has that fort base and can start mining from there. This honestly isn't the worst thing. Also, oh my god. Did he just do a stasis flank? I missed that, but that is sick. There's no real need for Classic right now to keep on pushing. There's absolutely no need for Classic to keep on pushing. I actually think pushing right now would be a huge error. Your opponent is on a massive timer. There is no need to attack into this. This is the one thing that Serral wants. This is the only way that Serral gets back into this game. He's just walking straight into this trap. I actually cannot believe my eyes. This was not a good decision. This was a really, really bad decision. The fort base was done. We could have been mining from there. Immortal count was grown, was looking fantastic. There were 3 Swarm Hosts stuck in a stasis over here, which should have been free pickoffs. It would have just been a Roach max on 65 workers. Well, I think Classic would have had like 7, 8 Immortals out. A solid setup on the fort base as well. Yeah, I think Serral would have been forced into playing a late game with Lurkers against someone that already had 7, 8 Immortals. That would not have been a good situation. Even now, after losing all these resources, this fight still looks somewhat okay for Classic. And Classic actually is going in for a kill right now. Still fighting on creep, which I'm not a huge fan of. There's 1 Immortal still in the back. 6 Immortals total out once again. But no Archons to really tank. Ling run by, heads in towards the natural. Will take out this pylon. And that means that this Warpin isn't going to finish. That means that these Immortals will not finish either. And oh, this is looking not too brilliant for Classic right now. Still 5 Swarmos alive as a couple more Roach are going to get taken out. There's a triple Queen drop still dealing damage in the main base. These Lings will end up getting cleaned up, or at least eventually should get cleaned up. Ling Roaches towards the left side. 51 workers for Classic right now against the 64 of Serral. Serral is... It feels like Serral still needs to kill his opponent, or he needs to really start adding a couple of drones. And not just... He'll need to add like 10, 15 drones in a very short amount of time. I don't think that would necessarily be a mistake here. Army supply is pretty close. Army value... Oh my god, this queen drop. What is this? This is an insane queen. Look at it. It starts spreading creep. Throw down a tumor Serral for Banta. Up. Yeah, he's so sick. Oh, I'm missing a big fight somewhere. Immortals are going to tank a couple of these biles as well. We have the Locust in the main base taking out 10 workers. The Queens continue. There is a creep tumor behind the third mineral line. This is sick. I love it when Serral plays stupid stuff. Oh, yo, 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 yo. This queen drop. How many workers did he get? Come on, drop him again. I want to see how many workers you got. That is so sick. Serral's still winning this game right now. 41 workers, not a single worker being rebuilt. There's 8 Immortals out. And, well, a lot of these are going to get hit by these biles. Yeah. Super battery in the back, not really contributing here. GG gets called. Serral wins the game in a game that he probably should not have won. But sometimes it doesn't matter what should have happened. Because at the end of the day, Serral is one of the best players in the world and wins this game. We'll be heading into game number 2 in this best of 3. Game number 2 over here on Blackburn. Classic opens up with a Gate Scout. I think it did the same thing last game, allowing Serral to take the natural, but being slightly more economical here for Classic. This is generally considered to be... Ooh, it's a fake cannon rush? No, it's not. Wanted to just trick Serral with. Serral's eating this, man. What does that probe do? Why is that probe so delayed to my creep? Serral checks it like, okay, this guy's just an idiot. Never mind. Back to work, boys. Yeah, the Gate Scout is a little bit better in case you're not planning on dealing any damage whatsoever with adepts. However, if you're planning on chronoing out 2 adepts across the map, getting a hatch block probably is superior. And in any type of glaive opener, it probably also is superior to block the hatchery. So we're going to have to wait and see exactly what is going to be happening here. As these drones are continuing their mining. Overlord gets sent out towards the right side. And the hatchery and a spawning pool also finish up. Very cool stuff. Very, very cool stuff. Pylon close by this mineral line. It's funny, I recently... I saw Classic when he returned. He was building a lot of like stargates near the edge. This type of position. And I didn't get it back then. And now I do get it. And I'm a huge fan of getting the stargates near the edge. Just to improve the timing of your second Oracle. However, now Classic stopped doing that. And I guess it's mainly because he opens up Void Ray so much. So the timing of the Oracle is kind of irrelevant. It's probably better to have the Void Ray slightly quicker towards this. And you save a little bit of minerals, keeping the Python close by your mineral line. So this is the optimal play for Void Ray openers. But with Oracle openers, I do like getting that Stargate over here on the edge. Just something about it makes me feel good. Although it's only 3 seconds, it probably won't change the game. In my head, it changes the game. And if in my head it changes the game, maybe it also changes something in reality. Or I'm delusional. One of the two. But that's something only the future can tell us. Voice Ray is not going to get chrono boosted out yet. Oh, there we go. Uses it the moment it becomes available. And this one adept moves across the map. So, yeah, in this case, I think what Classic is doing is superior. He does not want to chrono boost any of these adepts, or at least not 2 adepts. I think he might have chrono boosted 1 for a slightly faster scout. That's completely fine. In this case, I think doing a gate scout is actually the correct call. I actually do believe that. Double gates as well as a Void Ray over here. Oracle follow-up. So same follow-up. And I think this is the one thing that Classic still does a lot, is where he'll have 1 opener and he'll have 5 different follow-ups from that opener, making it really difficult for the Zerg player to figure out what's going on. And I think this is a great strength if you can play like this. It's funny if you compare it kind of to Hero. Hero has a lot of different openers and a lot of different follow-ups. And when you play against Hero, you have absolutely no clue what's happening. Like from start to finish, it's always a surprise. But against Classic, at least the first like 4.5 minutes are pretty standard. You know, you're gonna get your Voyager, you're gonna get your Oracle, and then that's where the the tricks come in. The little, oh, I didn't see that coming type of stuff. Yeah, maybe it's a charge all in. Maybe it's just a regular charge attack. This is going to be a double kill on these drones. One Overlord also has gone down already, so honestly quite a good start. Pneumatized Carapace about to finish up. This Overlord will make its way in towards the main base. A Roach Worm being thrown down here at, what was it, 4:35-ish. Should be in time in case it would have been glaives. Maybe a little bit late, actually. Would have maybe been a little bit late. But then again, he would have gotten a full info scout, so could have started preparing a wall way in advance. Good queen positioning, maybe even get a spine at the third base, in case he scouts that it is claves. So I don't mind it, actually. I don't mind it at all. 2 more gates on the way, as well as double sentries. We have Blink. Ooh, now Blink is a build. It's become a lot more popular recently. We see a lot of Blink into Zealot types of play. These low gas counts out of the Protoss player into fast fort bases. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. Look at that. 2 sentries with a fort. 1 for 4 gases. Now we're talking, baby. Now we're talking. 2 more sentries, though. This does not quite feel like how Hero intended it to be played. This is what Hero kind of, when he came back, he started doing a lot. And ever since the Queen patch, he says, hey, Queen walks are less viable right now. I think you can just straight up tech into Forged Twilight every single game and be fine, as long as I have continuous unit production. There's not a whole lot Zerg can do about this in the early stages of the game. Serral's not aware of this gold yet either, is he? No, he really isn't. He needs to be made aware of that right now. Oh, well, I think that probe probably gives it away. The direction that probe was taking. Serral building units on 70 drones right now. Surely that is too fast. Surely 70 drone units is not the way against this build order. Well, I'm actually kind of worried right now for Serral. Classic is going to start moving out. But it's not a big move out, is it? It's a fake move out almost. And he's not going to have that many units. It's important that he doesn't lose any workers here, though. It's really important Classic does not end up losing too many workers here. These links are going to survive. I'd love to see a wall over here with some gateways, actually, rather than what we're seeing right now. All these gateways just being blasted in the main base, going up to 10 already. Okay, we now have 4 more drones on the way. It seems like Serral is starting to realize, hey, this is kind of weird and it's not good. I'm gonna need to do something. A battery here definitely is what I'd expect. At minimum, no? Serral's gonna stay on 74 workers. If you were to scout this as Classic, I wonder if you continue moving out. I wonder if you continue moving out if you know this. Oh, force fields. That's 1 roach. 2 force fields for a roach. It's more than most people get with their force fields these days. The Ravager, of course, is a quick counter to that force field. No baneling speed done yet. I mean, while this fight is also completely off creep, I actually think that maybe Classic is going to have a decent trade here. No creep being here is actually kind of painful. Maybe Serral didn't want to attack. Maybe Serral just wanted to hold the back of his gold base. That's kind of frustrating. He's not going to be capable of doing just that. Once again, force field's getting broken, actually hitting his own roaches and ravagers as well. This is a good position for Classic right now. I like this position a lot. A lot more banelings coming in. Centrifugal Hook's about to finish up though, and that is going to be a complete game changer here. This fight still moving off of creep. Banelings moving forward. Splits on the Zealots, very mediocre, as all of them get taken out before anything really happens. Oh, yo. I think if these Zealots wouldn't have been so bad at getting hit by these banelings, this could have been a very, very solid fight here for Classic, connecting with these Ravagers. The moment Roaches disappear and it's just Queen Ravager, Zealots are going to be an absolute godsend. And now, well, now they're all gone, they're all dead. Income still looking good for Classic, of course, 72 against 71 workers, but the trades are actually not favorable for the Protoss with this army. I think this... Oh, he just lose the Prism? That would be kind of sloppy. I think he just did. This is one of the things that I think a lot of people underestimate when they're watching this style, is when you see a Protoss trade with the Zerg, usually you're used to the Protoss having very, very cost-efficient trades, right? Especially against Baneling-based armies. But in this case, that's never really true. If you're fighting against a Zealot Stalker army, Zerg, especially with like heavily Roach-based armies, is just going to get good trades against this. It is just an absolute fact that Zerg is going to get good trades. And I don't really think there is that much that the Protoss can do about it, except continue tacking on or trying to get a split army. Because in split armies, these Zealots and Stalkers just function a little better. Off creep, they fight a little better. But Serral completely in control of his own creep right now. And despite the supplies being even, I don't think I actually like this position for the Protoss player. I do, however, like this drop. It's going to force a big chunk of the army into the main base. I'd love to see a couple of Baneling run-bys towards this far right side, by the way. Especially now that +2 is about to finish up. Couple of biles, good hit. Are going to take out the cannon. Please try to take out the cannon. We'll get the hits here. Off-creep fights, I'm still not a huge fan of. Void Ray's going to... Oh my god, going to tank a couple of shots through the face here. Very sloppy stuff out of Classic. We'll now start... actually controlling this unit. One more Ravager can get taken out here. If he targets the correct one, he's not quite doing that. Queen might actually be capable of killing this Void Ray. Serral. No, instead we'll lose the Queen. Void Ray will stay alive. There's, well, a couple more Banelings being morphed currently. Classic not quite aware of that. +2 is about to finish up as well for Serral. And now these Baneling run-bys that I was talking about could start becoming a real issue. One-shotting probes, of course, is the absolute nightmare scenario for a Protoss player. +1 range immediately on the way, and Serral continues on into his Spire, into these higher techs. Needs to be careful because he's one bad fight away from losing this game as well. He continues attacking, engaging off of creep. A couple of Banes now are going to connect with a lot of these probes, and this is an absolute game changer right here, right now. Yeah, this is exactly what he needed. This is exactly what he needed. It wouldn't even surprise me if he just adds 6 drones, 7 drones himself now. Gets one more gas going as well. He already has the Spire on the way. Wants to transition into Broodlords, I think. So we have double Robo and a Robo Bay coming out of Classic here. Taking 6 gases for the first time. He might start building units that don't completely suck. Well, Void Ray will spot this run by. No way Serral's going to continue. No, he's going to continue with this. It's an odd move, honestly. But it's actually going to work. Classic not paying attention whatsoever. Oh no, Classic. More workers will go down. 25 workers falling, because at the same time, there's an engagement here on the top side. 32 probes go down. And right now, Classic has a crap army. He has a crap eco. He has terrible tech. And he is still getting blasted in this fight as well. When it rains, it pours. And right now, Classic is the wettest Protoss in the world. Because, well, he's been standing in this rain for a little while already. Stalkers will get blasted by the Baneling. This army is going to get taken out by the Ravagers and the Roaches. More links are on the way. Adrenal's about to finish up. As the Banelings move in forward. Yeah, this just looks very, very poor here for Classic. He's trying to stay alive, but I mean, there's too much income right now for Serral. There's too much income. There's too much tech. There's too many links running in, and there's not enough units to deal with these links. The moment Adrenal finishes, even these Zealots will be useless. Without Archons against Adrenal Gland links, you're not going to be capable of killing them unless you have Colossi or Storm. Link's just a little bit too powerful. Disruptors will get taken care of as well. GG gets called. Serral wins this series 2-0 in what feels like a score that shouldn't have been like this. It feels like Classic had good opportunities in game number 1. I think he practically had game number 1 won. And in game number 2, there also were some opportunities where if he does not let all those Zealots get connected on by the Banelings, I think we're playing a very decent scenario here for Protoss. But does end up happening. He ends up losing the game. Serral once again too dominant in the Zerg versus Protoss matchup. That's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video.